So hi everyone, with me today I have the wonderful DeDee Cai. She is the founder of her company DeDee Cai, but also the managing director of the Sarasota Tampa chapter of E-Woman Network. DeDee, welcome, congratulations, and thank you for joining.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm delighted to be here. I am very excited about our conversation today.
Amazing. And I said congratulations because you've literally only just become the managing director for this chapter, right?
Yes.
Like an hour ago.
Yes, I would say the announcement is official today. Yes, I accepted last week, but I was waiting on to get into the system, etc., and things like that. So yes, it's
Amazing.
official. It's on Facebook as well, so it's definitely official.
I mean, if it's on Facebook, it's official, absolutely. But congratulations. And so first, really easy question, where in the world actually are you?
Where in the world am I right now located?
Yeah.
I am in the sunshine state of Florida in the States.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Send us some sun. We just had snow, bizarrely.
Oh, yes. We actually have cold, believe it or not. It's very rare that you will find me in a jacket here in Florida. But we are actually in the 60s for the next 4 or 5 days, which I'm pouting about. So yes, we are on, I guess, on the same page with temperature, and you just happen to have a little bit more snow than we do.
We do indeed. So let's talk about what you do. So first of all, your company, DeDee Cai. Now you
actually Fit to Profit is the name of the company. Yes.
I was going to say, because what you do is you help CEOs charge their worth to amplify impact. So what is that about? What does that mean for you?
So it has been a personal journey, and if you could hear from the brand or the company name, Fit to Profit, we really believe that CEOs need to be mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually fit to be profitable. And so I've learned everything the hard way, right? And so what I've learned is that for someone to be completely fulfilled and content and successful in her role as a CEO, she needs to take care of herself on all levels. And of course, with that, it means that you have to be able to know your worth on a very basic level, right? Like I honestly didn't get that realization into many years, actually into my self-development, not only until about 15 years ago was when I realized what is really missing and why did I do all of the things that I did before? How did I get lost? How did I find myself here? It was because I was doing everything that everyone else wanted me to do instead of what I really wanted to do. And when I started really owning what it is that I want and start taking full responsibility, for my life, that's when everything started unfolding. And so really, that's what it means. It's like you have to really love yourself and really feel deserving and ultimately at the end of the day, feel worthy enough for everything that you want to create in your life. So
I love that. And I think there's two things you pulled out. One is stopping doing what everyone else wants you to do. And the second one is really loving yourself.
100%.
And this is something I think CEOs struggle with because you have the weight of a company on your shoulders, and that company could be one person or 1,000 people or higher, but you still feel that pressure. And so how do you approach the conversation, I guess, as CEOs to go, look, you want to be financially successful, you need to look at your wealth. What does that conversation look like?
Yeah, honestly, it's so much more simpler than we ever imagined. I just asked really one simple question, honestly, is, are you lit up in your position right now? Are you excited about what you're doing? Are you actually, can you wait to get out of bed? Right?
Nice.
Because it's just comes down to that simple question. Like, why do you, right? Like, it could be the same question it applies for someone who is working a corporate job or who is a mom, right? Who is a stay-at-home mom or who is whatever. It's truly that. It's like you have to find contentment, fulfillment, and happiness in your position of what it is, no matter what it is that you do. So that would be my very first question.
I love that. And it is super simple. But I can imagine, I can already hear people going, oh, but it's really easy for you to say, but I've got this, and that going on, and I can't just change my life, and I can't do that. So, I mean, in my experience as a therapist, there's always an excuse, isn't there? There's always an excuse,
Oh,
but it's only
yes.
until we start looking internally that we realize we
Mm-hmm.
are the problem, right?
100%. And yes, and if that happens, and I agree with you, it happens 99% of the time, right? Like I have all these responsibilities, I have all of these things that, and guess what? It comes down to one of the 5 foundational success principles we teach at Fit to Profit. It comes down to responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And we ask the question of who is it responsible for everything that's happening around you right now? And we come to agreement, right? We come to an agreement that, yes, I am 100% responsible for my success that I have now and things that I don't have yet. From that place, then we can have a conversation of what do we need to change. Because if we don't have that common ground, that the CEO, you are responsible for everything that you have in your life right now, then there's not worth a conversation.
Love that. And also, I think it applies to everyone, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't matter what position you're in. And you even said it, if you can't get out, if you're not lit up to get out of the bed in the morning, it doesn't matter who you are. But ultimately, you are so right. Everything is up to you as an individual to take that responsibility.
Yes.
But of course, as a CEO, you often have more influence, perhaps. You do have more responsibilities, but how you approach them for yourself, for those around you, and owning the fact that ultimately it is all on you. So how are you showing up for you? How are you getting out of bed lit up every morning? That's a powerful conversation to have.
Absolutely. Right. Like in that place, then we can empower ourselves and others to do whatever it takes. Right. And then we understand that it's not a matter of sacrifice to prove yourself, but rather coming back to knowing, wait, yes, I am worthy to be happy, to be healthy, to be feeling energized and focused. So what is that? What does it take for me to feel a certain way, right? To show up the way I want to show up. Well, some things need to change. But until we can come from a place of you have the power, to create and have anything, then that's how everything starts.
What inspired you to go down this particular path for yourself and then take others on it? Was there a really aha moment? Was it just a progression of your life that you kind of went, you know what, suddenly you said you lost sight of who you were, but was it a sudden realization or was it just a sort of a gradual one?
I can tell you I have the spirituality piece in our fit assessment is because this whole thing has been a spiritual experience for us and for me. Is that it's honestly, I didn't know where this is what I'm supposed to be doing, with my life. And I can clearly say and certainly say that this is probably something I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And so I take
Wonderful.
my last breath. It's really, really my upbringing with really creating, striving for, the American dream, because I'm a first generation immigrant. So I did everything that my parents wanted me to do to find myself in a cubicle and realize, wow, this feels more like a prison. And it didn't reflect the vision. It didn't align with the vision of what I imagined the American dream should be. And so fast forward, I had the same opportunity to build the American dream, but this time working for myself. My mom invited me to be her business partner. We started a restaurant business. And then, of course, I helped on the backside of things with her salons as well, closing that out, moving industries. And long story short, I did all of the things, right, of what people told me I was supposed to do. And I completely found myself burnt out almost 5 years in with the restaurant. And I didn't have a life. I was at the restaurant, 18-hour days. And I was dating my boyfriend at the time, my husband now. I didn't really barely see him. Poor man was coming in early in the morning before his shift, his work schedule to help me with the opening shift, and then came during lunchtime to help me with the lunch rush, and then came after work to help out with dinner rush. I mean, it was insane. So that was not the American dream. That was more like an American nightmare. And until I realized the moment that had me really start questioning if this is what I really want to do, as we were on vacation, in the most beautiful place, Venice, Italy,
I love Venice.
Place. It was sprinkling outside. We were sitting in a cafe waiting for our cappuccinos, But instead of looking into my boyfriend's eyes and appreciating and being present with him, I was staring at my phone. I was waiting for the restaurant to call as if I need to put a fire out. So that was the first very moment where I start questioning, no, this is definitely not it. But of course, I was conditioned and also trained to work really hard. So, 18-hour days, like doing all things, you name it, from client interfacing to climbing the roof, cleaning the toilet, all of the things. And for me to realize that, wow, I can do the hard work, but is this what I'm really meant to do?
Yeah.
And so I came back, and before I knew it, I brushed up the courage to have the conversation with my mom, and told her that, Mom, this is not this. I don't think this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to do something else. And so she said, yes, that's fine. And I have to say, to answer your question more precisely, the moment that changed everything for me in my life, and that pivotal moment, was my boyfriend proposed. We were getting married the week of our wedding. I lost my best friend to suicide.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. So I buried her July 4th. Our wedding was July 7th. She was supposed to be a part of the wedding party. She suffered from depression and anxiety. That was the moment where I vowed to myself that no one should ever have to go through what I went through that week. But not only that, her death reminded me that I actually was suffering from the same, but in silence. I did everything I could up until that point to prove myself, to fill the void, to try to fix the brokenness that I felt inside. So one thing led to another. I started taking care of myself physically, emotionally, and then also spiritually. And I discovered the whole coaching industry on accident by just wanting to learn more about what holistic health looks like and how I can really better take care of myself. Ultimately, with the quest to heal myself alternatively, I just didn't really, believe in, taking drugs or, therapy. I just felt like I just needed to learn more about myself and what really drives me. And and that's how I was able to overcome depression and anxiety all naturally. And honestly, that's how everything came full circle as well, because when I was in college, I wanted to be a therapist. So when I found the coaching industry, I said, oh my goodness, this is it, right? But it's even better. I don't have to spend all the time and money on graduate school or medical school, and I don't have to write prescriptions, and this is definitely it. And so that's how Fit to Profit was born. It was through my journey of just overcoming my own challenges to heal myself, and also to come through on the other side and actually know what it feels like to be energized and passionate and things like that, instead of being in a dark place.
That's beautiful. And so sorry about your friend. It's a shame that we have to go through these dark periods to find our light sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I wonder, and it's not just the American dream, but I was, the structure for work and for development in the Western world is get a good education, get a job, work, get retired, die.
Yeah.
And
wow. Right?
When you break it down like that, you're like, this is not the greatest. And so, but it's really hard I think it's getting easier with the internet, but it's really hard to find that counter narrative when you're living that narrative. Like you say, when you're doing everything right, everything that society says you should do, you're doing, and you ought to be happy because this is the dream, be it American or otherwise. But so many people aren't. But so many people are afraid to step out of that cycle.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things I wonder what would happen if we all ended up doing what we truly love. Like, what kind of world would that be? Like, surely we'd all just get along and sing Kumbaya every day and just have a great time.
Yes, absolutely. Right. Like, and I truly have that as part of my vision. Like, truly, that's why I took on the role of managing director for Women Network, is I truly believe that we are meant to stick together, and not meant to stick together. We're designed to stick together. Like, we're supposed to survive in herds. Like, we're supposed to be in community. That's how, otherwise we die. Right. And so why are we not collaborating, or why are we not lifting each other up? And it could be just being positive with a friend and just really calling out her BS. If she is really making excuses, like you said, I'll be like, who's responsible for that? That's why, honestly, I don't have too many friends. But the friends I have are very open, we were open for each other's feedback, and we can call each other up and talk through whatever we need to talk through. And then we create a plan of how we can change things around. Right.
Yeah.
And so, why are we going along? Right. Like, why are we conforming what it's supposed to be when we have all of this access to technology, resources and support, to be better versions of self? Why are we not utilizing that? Right? Like that's like mind boggling for me when someone's like, oh, I wanted to do that and I don't know how to do it. I'm like, are you serious? Like, Google
it.
YouTube, go to the library. Everything in the library is free now. Like, it's like, it's compared to, I have one of my mentors. He's a crude man, but he did say that if you're not successful in the US, you may have to really be mentally challenged. And I mean, like, mentally challenged in a way where something is not right. And like, that's fine. Like that. But if you have a good, like, a head on your shoulder, and if you're not successful, guess what? Who gets to be responsible?
Well, I find that viewpoint, I totally get it. And there's a thing about privilege, isn't there? So I'm university educated, don't come from a wealthy family, but I think the education made a difference because I went to a good university. That opens doors for me. Just saying I went to this university, everyone goes, oh, that university. Hi, how are you doing? But when it comes to business, going to a good university doesn't actually make a difference. And I've had to learn marketing and sales, just like everyone else has to learn marketing and sales. I can tell you, my first degree in Russian and history did not help me learn marketing or sales at all. And I think that's the thing. And when I was growing up, I didn't get a computer until I went to university, basically, and it was still really new. So my first degree was 4 years. By the end of my fourth year, everyone had a computer. We all had the internet, like, wired into the college where we lived. But until that point, we didn't. And I tell you what, everything I did was in the library. We went to the library, we researched, we did stuff. And back then, I think one of the challenges now I find is the quality of the information.
Agreed.
And whereas going to the library, you would kind of accept that this information was good information because it would been published and gone through process, and it was written by someone who sounded like they knew what they're doing. I totally get that the overwhelm of information now is a real thing. But going back to the original point that your mentor said, but there is so much out there, and it's all free. And even if you just try one thing, doesn't work, you can try the next thing, and you can keep trying.
Yes.
It's all free. It is all free.
Yeah.
And even, again, I don't know how, I know that there's different poverty levels and things like having access to internet isn't still something that everyone gets. But like you say, libraries are free. Yeah. And if you can afford to go on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, then maybe you could just find something that will educate you. And it's not always a popular position, because I think people go, well, I want it to be someone else's fault that I'm not successful. I want, it's all the hurdles I've had to overcome. And I'm like, yes, these are big hurdles. But in this day and age, there are so many more ways that we can overcome those hurdles. And so many people willing to help, not for free as well, not just, paid help. So I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah. And it's so interesting. I had the similar question yesterday. Like, well, what's responsibility? Like, how do you know you're taking responsibility or when you're not taking responsibility? And I keep reflecting on this, and I love my answer so much. I'm going to share it here, right? Because we're on topic here. Is that, guess what? How you know you're not taking 100% responsibility is, are you blaming or are you shaming?
Yeah.
Are you looking for an external reason, an external factor for why things are not happening the way you want to, or you're not getting the results that you want to? It's shame or blame, right? The blame is blaming everyone else, blaming the government, blaming the internet, blaming whatever it is. And or you self-sabotaging because you're shaming yourself. You're like, well, you're beating yourself up about it. So true responsibility comes from a really empowering place.
Yeah.
No matter what happens outside of you, you have the power inside of you to change the direction of where you want to.
Love that. Definitely. And so with this, going back to your work with the CEOs then, how often do you get this resistance when you have this conversation? So the first question I love was, do you wake up, feeling lit up? Get that. When they go no, and you go, maybe you go, are you taking responsibility? I guess you get that straight away going, of course I am. And then do you have to sort of unpick it but go, well, but are you really?
Yeah. And so the next question was, that's why one of my really keen eye to things is you only need to do one thing that's really moving your business forward. So we go right that down to zeroing into what's the one thing that you're doing, and do you know for sure with 100% of the fiber of your being that is actually going to move your business forward. And usually it's only the one thing. And oftentimes, if something is not working, it's because the CEO is not focused on what she needs to focus on. First-hand experience. I mean, I just learned that again. Like, I've made all the mistakes, so you don't have to listening to this podcast, right? It's so simple. It's so simple. It's when we really just excavating and keep getting down to the core of things. It's not complicated at all. We are all humans, and no matter what kind of product or service that we build or create or come up with, is to serve other humans. And we have the same psychology. We do. You're a therapist, you can relate, right? Like, we have the same fears. We have the same fears, right?
100%.
Yeah. And it's just going back to the core of okay, what are we afraid of? And usually it's whether it is fear of rejection, in business, like you said, like the marketing and the things, like not getting out there or not speaking up or whatever. It's just fear of rejection, right? Like fear of failure, right? Like fear of not being good enough, and comes down to, again, is self-worth. It's all related to self-worth.
I also think that it's going to sound really weird. It's a really healthy experience to experience rejection, because then you ask yourself why. And then you come back with, well, it's the responsibility piece. So why was I rejected from this business deal? Well, perhaps I didn't do the right preparation work, so the company didn't see my value. Perhaps I've only taken I haven't taken it seriously. I think the challenge with business for me is that there's this expectation in the world with the internet that it's really easy still, because you are connected. So therefore you have an idea, you'll go and talk about it, and suddenly everyone will buy it. And those unicorns are so, so rare. In reality, everyone is on this journey of try, reject, or try and fail. And suddenly from that experience, you learn. But along the way, the faster you accept that each failure, each rejection is not an attribute of your self-worth, but it's a lesson to be learned around how to improve your speaking, your approach, your product.
100%.
You change the game.
Yes, exactly. It's just like a shift of perspective. I'm with you 100%. We don't call it failure. We call it feedback.
Absolutely. There is no failure, only feedback.
Feedback, right? Like, you didn't really fail. You just didn't get the result that you really anticipated. So what's the feedback here? What's the lesson here? How can you do it differently next time? And you cannot succeed. There's no success unless there's a failure. And if we can choose to view it as feedback, everything is feedback for me now. Like, even if I can't get my 4-year-old to put on his shoes because my approach, okay, feedback. Okay, maybe he's focused on something else. I need to maybe redirect differently next time, things like that. It's all feedback. And I think culturally we get so stuck on certain words and allowing it to be part of our identity, where because I failed in the past or didn't really achieve the success or the result I really wanted, so I'm a failure. So that's that's a big difference. Just because you didn't get what you wanted out of that situation does not mean you failed at all. Actually, in fact, you're closer to the ultimate outcome that you want than you were before that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But people have to accept that, again, to accept the responsibility of building on the feedback.
100%. This comes to how foundational is responsibility, right? Like, that's something that is so ingrained and is so lost, and it's not sexy in this culture, right? Like, because people are like, yeah, no, I don't want any obligation. No, actually, it's not an obligation. You got it all mixed up. It's responsibility for yourself and what you can do. And it's not about someone forcing you to doing something as an obligation. Trust me, I know I had it confused when I accepted my position with my mom as a business partner. I felt obligated. No, who said I needed to do what I needed to do, right? But to come out of the experience was when no, I was not obligated. I'm 100% responsible. I said yes to it. And it was one of the biggest, most transformative experience I can ever experience in learning about business and what it means to work hard. I know what I can tell you. I know what it means to work hard. But I realized from that experience is, wow, I'm really designed to work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
I can still focus. I can still, fail, and which is all requires part of success. But there's a difference between, grinding it out and hopefully that something is going to work out versus, okay, I'm going to be really smart and intentional here. Like every time I quote unquote fail, or every time I receive feedback from any action that I have taken, how can I do things differently next time?
That just changes everything, doesn't it? And so what I love about you is your own responsibility and this new position you've just taken up. So the managing director of the E-Women Network.
Mm-hmm.
So what led you to that? Because it's not like you're not busy. So
yeah.
What was going through your mind?
Yeah, so I am really, I think I don't think I'm like a rare breed or anything. I really truly believe that every single entrepreneur has a calling. And I really have a calling to help others. I remember when as young as 7 years old, I told my little cousin, we were living in an extended household, and I told him during pretend play to pretend you're sick. I'm going to help you, like pretend like you don't know how to speak and I can come and like be your voice type thing. And so this is just honestly the next step in really staying aligned with my path, is to help myself while helping others. And I really also believe that with today's technology, with the AI, with all the robots that we're going to be having and things like that, I'm actually going against the grain in a way to really continue to nurture the human interaction. The networking, meeting women in person and also virtually, we all need a community to belong to. And I've been doing that, on my own. So why not come together with someone who's been doing it this next coming year? Sandra Yancey is the founder, has been doing it for 25 years. It's her core business of hosting networking events. So why reinvent the wheel when I can just team up with her and do use her model and all of the things, but that helps elevate, what I love doing is bringing people together. So that is just in alignment with my core values and our company's value. Like, we believe in collaboration and teamwork. And that's another layer of our business that we can add on, which seems like it's a lot more work, but it's actually not. It's like already things that I'm already doing. I'm just having another role added to my name. I'm already out always meeting people. I'm already thinking about who I can refer to who and things like that already. So why not be even more focused and intentional with growing a community? And I just love being a part of a community. And also it's just my time to really lead, like a small group of entrepreneurs. And also I'm really in love with the mission. Like, our mission is to help 1 million women entrepreneurs make at least $1 million a year.
That's awesome.
Because that is unheard of. Like, that is definitely top 1% when it comes to like women entrepreneurs. And I truly believe, I'm not biased, I love the men, but I feel like women make even better leaders than men. Because we're so. You probably be biased too, and you agree with me, but it is true.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
well, it's not only true, but there's actually studies that prove it's true.
There you go.
And the effects of women leaders in companies, their profit shares go up, their well-being goes up. So it's so important we grow that talent, because actually everyone benefits.
Yes, exactly. So it checks all the boxes for me of what I want to focus on in 2025. And like if I'm talking about the next level, that will be the next level, because it's not low. It's no longer about, because next year we'll be in business for 10 years. So it's not about us anymore. It's about us. It's about us collectively, as entrepreneurs and as women entrepreneurs.
I also think you're so right about the need to be human still. And even if you look at AI is great. I say that AI gets me from 0 to 1, but to go from 1 to 2, I need the human touch. I need
Absolutely. You still need to be the person who is putting the prompts in there.
Yeah.
who's going to say, no, that's not how I want to teach the thing. It's just in general, it has a frame. But within the frame, you have to personalize it. You have to customize it, right, to what resonates with you. So it's interesting. Some of the entrepreneurs that I have came across are so intimidated. And I said, don't be. You're not going to be like, as long as you are human and you're good with what you do, your job is not going to be removed. However, for you to be ahead of the game or in the game, you need to understand how to use, period.
Absolutely.
That is it. And we can learn anything, right? Like there's nothing that could ever replace, our human brain. Because we were the one that came up with AI, right? If you think about it, right? And so there's no way we can remove that. And I just want to keep coming back to the foundation of let's be human. And business is all about relationships and connections and trust and referrals. And, I built my business on that. And the only reason we have gone so virtual is because of the pandemic. And it's about time we go back. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I have done definitely the more online stuff, like running ads and things like that. But I feel so disconnected, with the people that I'm like supposed to talk to. Like, oh, write an email, pour your heart out, invite them to the event. And I'm like, this person, I only know the email address. But if I met you, Philippa, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. I remember what she was wearing that day. She was wearing a red shirt, there's more emotion. I can actually connect with the person and actually write a meaningful email that I actually mean versus, I don't know. Like, I just realized after this past year of 2024, just testing things and being like, how can I really do this thing just online only? And honestly, for me, my personality and how I want to build my business, it cannot just be online only. Like it has to build from having a community. And I'm just going back to the basics and the foundation of we need connection.
I agree. And I find myself, at first, the online thing I think was a novelty for people anyway. Because sometimes you had to do everything online. It wasn't exciting because you could be in your pajamas, be in a meeting. It was all good. No one cared. But there's definitely, for me, there's fatigue of online. So, I mean, I love doing podcasts, obviously. And that's kind of okay online because we do have a good conversation. But networking events online just have never worked for me. I think it's just so, and I'm not someone who, I like small groups. That's like my comfort zone. Bigger groups, I tend to be a bit quieter. But even in bigger groups, online, I stand no chance. Whereas in person, I can kind of find my small group and then another small group. And then I can suddenly grow the big group from lots of small groups. But I can't do that online. And I can't get the comfort of, human interaction from the online thing. And also my eyes get tired. My eyes get, because when you're on Zoom calls all the time, like your eyes you don't realize the eye strain where you just need to shut them. And so I think apart from that one thing, human connection is the thing that we all crave. And although for those who are remote, who can't get out, the internet is a blessing. But for those of us who can still move freely, why wouldn't you go and see people? Why wouldn't you build those connections, really?
Absolutely. Yep. So that's to answer your question. And also that's really one of our values and one of my core principles of, it's all about truly connections, connections and community.
No, I love that. And so what is your vision for 2025 and beyond now that you're expanding your sphere of influence?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We don't set our goals. Like, of course, if the revenue goals, we hit it, beautiful. But it's like, for the first time, I think also because of our theme in community this year, we're really looking at the number of people that we get to create a difference for. Like right now, I'm thinking at least 200, but honestly now being connected to over 500,000 entrepreneurs with eWomen Network, I'm like 200. Oh my gosh, we can do that in the first quarter. Right? And so really my vision is just building as many relationships as at least 200 this 2025 and truly get them the support, the referrals, the help, the whatever it is they need to achieve their goals. And then that's how we're going to achieve our goals without even having to think about it. It's just like how can we think about us collectively and create our own economy in a sense? And that's how can we support each other and create more value in each other's lives.
It's beautiful. I love that. One last question. If you are a woman, you think that maybe you're at burnout, you're not really sure, maybe you're lying to yourself, how would you go about getting them to have that honest conversation with themselves? What advice would you give them to someone who thinks they're okay, but maybe they're not, they're just not sure?
Yeah. So I would say, well, first, do you have at least one person that you can call on and really have a conversation around it? And if not, maybe it's like you're on your own. I would invite you to just take some time on your own and ask yourself the question of, from a scale of 1 to 10, am I happy? If you land anywhere below a 5, it's time to do something about it. Yeah.
Simple.
And just like what Philippa and I have been talking about, there's so many resources. And if you are listening in to this podcast episode right now, I am just a message away. You guys have heard enough from us. You already know that we're aligned with trying to help you do whatever it is that you need to do so you can see your own potential. If you want help, trust me, I mean it when I say I'm just a message away. You know where to find me. That's my name right there, DeDee Cai. I'm on social everywhere. And if you want to have a conversation about how you can change your life today, it is truly for me why I do it. You heard my story already. It's a matter of life and death. I lost my best friend to a suicide. I almost lost myself in the process. So if you choose life, it's time to change.
Thank you, DeDee. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to put all your links in the show notes so everyone can find you and have that conversation. And really, really, really do reach out to DeDee because she's wonderful. It's been such a pleasure having you. And if I make it over to Florida anytime soon, I'll let you know.
Yes, please. Absolutely. And yeah, we can chat offline. Are you in the UK by chance?
I am, yes. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And yes, we can chat offline about the UK. And I'm just, because I'm making my way. So, but thank you.
Excellent. I'm ready.
Sneak peek, everybody. Thank you for having this platform and hosting. Truly, this is how we can collectively make a difference in the world. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.